So what are loops? Loops are essential construct in programming that allows you to execute blocks of code repeatedly. What does it mean? It means loops is a type of is a construct in programming, yeah, that helps you to iterate through code, like repeat codes on blocks of code, like 4 or 5 lines, depends on how many lines of code you put in that block, repeatedly until a particular condition is met. Okay. Now there are two types of loops supported by Python. We have the for loop and the while loop. So what's the for loop? The for loop is used when you know how many times you want to loop through, you want to repeat a particular sequence. Okay. Meanwhile, the while loop is used until a particular condition is met. You don't know how many times until that condition is met. It keeps looping. Now let's dive to the code. Let me show you what I mean. Open your Termux, clear your screen. Now, um, let me show you syntax of a for loop. For example, vim is our vim to open our for loop .py. I for insert. Now the syntax of for loop is like this: for space element in sequence, then colon, then your block of code should be here. Block of codes. Okay, what does it mean? This sequence is a series of, or a sequence of um of object or of set of anything. It could be a string, it could be a list. Okay, it could be a list, it could be a range of numbers, it could be anything, yeah. But this element picks a single one from the sequence. Okay, it picks a single one for the sequence and execute what you want to happen. Okay, let me give you an example. Let's say let me use this fruit example that I'll be using. Let's say we have a fruit. If you remember, we use this fruit in our list. Fruit is equal to, remember our list, don't forget. If you don't see the video, go back and watch the video. Apple, comma, orange, comma, what should use again? Let me use mango. Then you end your list. Now, if you want to look through this list and display all these values, before, if you want to display it, you just say fruit bracket open 0 or 1 or 2. Okay, but if you want to look through and display all of them once in a list, this I would do it for fruit, or you can use any variable name. Okay, let me use fruit without s in fruits. This one must match this one. Okay, must match this fruit up here. This one should match this one up here. To match this fruit up here, they should match because we are looping through this fruit now. That's why we didn't put s. You can use f for anything. This one. Okay, colon, hit enter, print bracket open the element which is fruit. Alright, escape, colon, wq. Now let's execute this. Python for loop.py. You see, he just printed all of them. He looked through till he got to the last one. Now let's go back. This is what it does. It picked the list here, and put it here, then keep looping through. Pick the first one, print it out. Pick the second one, print it out. Pick the third one, print it out. That's how loop works. Okay, loop is used to loop through element. It can be list, it can be set, it can be a tuple. You use your for loop to loop through and get your result out as wanted. Okay, now let's do one called range. Okay, I don't know if you've used the method before called range, but let me show you something about it. Let's clear this one. I'm not going to use it. Okay, hit your I to switch to insert mode, and let's delete. So let's for I in, let's say, range. This range we create a range of value. Yeah, let's say range of 8 values, bracket, colon, and we say print I, bracket, I, bracket close. What this does rather, it creates range of values, okay, from 0 to 8, yeah, or 0 to 7, not to 8, from 0 to 7. Then the I, we bring the first element in the range, you print it out. You do the same thing for the second one, print it out. You keep repeating this process until this range has gone to the last one. So for loop execute when you know the number of elements that you want, but it's not like that in while. Let's execute this and get our escape column WQ. Hit enter. Let's go back to Python for loop. Okay, so I was talking about start from 0 to 7. So it's actually 8, but it starts from 0 to 7. And let's go back to our code. So that's the for loop for you. Then a while loop. A while loop is used repeatedly to execute a block of code as long as a certain condition is true. So we just so long that condition is true and does not change, just keep executing this thing, keep executing this thing. Okay. Now let me show you the element. Let me switch to insert mode. Let me show you the syntax of while loop. You say while space condition, hit enter, then your block of code stays here. Block of code. Okay. Now, until this condition, for you to execute, this condition must be true. Like it remains true, or this log code will keep executing until this condition is changed to false. It will not stop executing. So let's say, let me show you an example. Okay. Let me say I declare an integer value count, and I said is equal to let's say 0. Okay. I'll say while count is less than 5. Of course, 0 is less than 5. Yeah. I'll say while count, count space is less than 5. Keep executing this code. Keep executing this block of code. I'll say print count. Sorry. And I'll say count plus equal to 1. If you don't mind, if you watch the previous video, you know what this means. This will increment count, add the value, that is add 1 to count and store it inside count. Don't forget, if you've seen this video, if you've seen the previous video, you will know what this means. Okay, this is an increment and assignment operator. it decrements it and add the value stored inside there. Okay, now let's execute and get our results. Escape colon WQ. Let's go back. So you see, this is what while loop does. Okay, so the while loop executes until this condition. So you keep increasing. So when it gets to 5, you know at 5 it will increase. Let me explain the code. It will run the code the first time. When you run the first time, it displays 0. Then count becomes 1. It will run again. It displays 1. Count becomes 2. You run again. To run again is 2 less than 5. Yes, it displays 2. Then to run again. Then increment it. Increment count with 3. It will run and check. It's still less than 5. Yes, it increment. It will run this print count as print 3. Then the count will increment again to 4. 4 will go up again and run. Is 4 less than 5? Yes. It will print out 4. Then count will increment to 5. If you go up again and run, is 5 less than 5? No. It will stop there. If you not execute again, that one is now false. That's how while loop works. We will see better example to help us understand.